Cleon deal. That should be good. Yo. All right, we're good. I can hear. We can. Oh, I'm not. I'm logged into mine.
Yo.
YouTube, Twitch, whatever else we go live on automatically. What up? Need a nap. Oh, here we go. Oh, but I'm on my page. We're live. The Radio Podcast live show. Oh, that's good enough. I'm just gonna watch it from my page and mute it. Dun. All right, we're good. I don't know what we're gonna talk about, but Cleon knows, and that's all that matters.
Okay.
You got to you still got end of year recap on that one. We gotta change it. It's a new year. New year, new me. Or at least that's what they say.
That's what they say.
Whew. That's what they say. That's what they say. You typed in the chat? First. Are you gonna do the you did the last intro, so you get to do the first intro of the year too.
Okay. Wonderful. Hold on. Why is my stuff not in freaking night mode anyway? All right, there we go.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're at
2:15. We're at 2:15.
All right, let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Real Deal Podcast, the first of the year. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for sticking with us all through 2025, and thank you for joining us again back in 2026. I am here as your co-host, Mr. Cleon Deal, and I'm here across from Mr. Brandon Haley, who is
what up?
bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and full of energy today. Happy to see you, man.
It's been a busy week, man. But, busy, busy is a blessing.
Busy is a blessing. That is absolutely is, man. And I'm thankful. We made it through this year. Mm-hmm. Another year of sobriety and celibacy for you.
Whatever we want to call
sounds
it.
like it sucked. But with that being said,
that's
I'm happy that we made it. I think that most people can obviously, as we've gotten through the year, there's been stories of growth, there's been stories of pain, but the good news is that we're on to a different journey now.
Another year, man.
Another year.
That was a very, very eventful year,
wasn't it?
A lot of things happened that I didn't think was going to happen,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of things I thought was going to happen didn't happen. But here we are.
Tis his life.
That's life, man.
It's like they said, you wanna make God laugh, tell him your plans.
Yeah,
right?
100%. Speaking of God, make sure you guys are praying, and hopefully that's a resolution for you, is to get closer to God, get in the Bible, read the Bible for yourself. Don't just listen to podcasts. Actually read it for yourself. That's definitely always a resolution of mine. Continue to get closer to God in that journey as well. So make sure you guys are doing that.
Absolutely. Now, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, in the spirit of the new year, with this being the first episode of the new year, I'd like to talk about something that we all talk about during the new year's resolutions. Now, everybody has resolutions at the beginning of every year, whether it be something regarding your occupation, whether it be regarding your finances. A big one is obviously getting into the gym, which get in there, but obviously more than the average 3 months that people usually only go for.
We're on January 3rd. How many times have you been to the gym this year?
How many times have I been to the gym this year? Since January 1st? I haven't, but I've been running every day though. I lied. I've been to the gym once, but I've been running every day.
I've only been once, man. I'm slacking already.
I still work out every day though. You know what I'm saying?
One
If
for
even
three.
even if I don't get to the gym,
Nah,
you know what I'm
nah.
saying? Let's be clear on that.
That is actually one of my goals for this year is actually to take it a little bit more seriously. Because usually I go like probably I average maybe three,
That's not
maybe
bad.
4 times a week.
That's not bad. But do you not do anything the other days?
I mean, flag football, but
Okay.
that's nothing crazy.
I mean, it's something though.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah.
that's the main
It's
thing
still
is just
something.
moving because you obviously what I tell people all the time is you got to try to eat and everything towards your activity level, which as if
Yeah.
you're working out 3-4 days a week at the gym, you're still being active in those other days.
Hmm.
You don't eat a bunch of huge meals throughout your day or whatever the
But
case is.
nah, but I mean, I like to eat at night, so that's
Oh,
just my issue. I usually will still eat pretty clean though at
mhm.
nighttime, but my thing is like those 3 to 4 times a week that I
Uh-huh.
went, and it was like I would say maybe an average, just call it 3 times a week
Uh-huh.
throughout the entire year.
Yeah.
I only worked out over an hour, maybe like less than 10 times.
Oh, really?
All my workouts are always like super
But you
super
don't
short.
and you don't do any sort of cardio or anything like that.
Nah, I hate that. So
Okay.
hopefully we'll start
So
to
that's what you need to work on,
incorporate
actually.
that, or maybe just 30-minute workouts, just go 5 times a week. But we're already kind of slacking with that.
Well,
But
that's I mean, that's the thing. I think that as you get into your old age, Brandon,
yeah,
you need to start considering your heart and cardiovascular health.
yeah, that is true too. So maybe start doing my little 10-minute cardio warm up before, because if you are focused on that cardiovascular health, you are supposed to do your cardio beforehand.
Correct. And you have all this space to run around. There's a field right across the street. You can go
There's
out and do some running on.
literally one in the backyard, but
Yeah.
this is the last week we're here.
Okay. Right. So yeah,
The gym is literally 5 minutes down the road too.
yeah, so we'll figure that part of it out.
We'll
Now,
figure it out.
with that being said, obviously, we like I said, there's a list of resolutions that you all have probably made for this new year. But one thing that I don't see a lot of people talking about is their relationship resolutions,
Mhm.
things that not only make your mind, your body, your spirit better, but how are you anticipating on making your relationship better this year? And that's
By leaving it.
okay.
Some of you need to leave your relationship.
That-
Let this be God's will speaking through me. Some of you need to leave your relationship to make it better.
that might hey that might be somebody's resolution is to get out of it.
I'm not saying any names, but I know for me myself, I'm not in a relationship, but I was in those kind of relationships where you knew you needed to leave,
Yeah.
but you kind of just stayed in it a little bit too long.
Yeah.
Then something crazy happened. Here's your sign.
Yeah.
Leave.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Leave.
So your relationship resolutions, even if that resolution is to get out or stay out of relationships, because some
Mhm.
people unfortunately are in them perpetually. And maybe this
Yeah.
year you just need to be alone.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel like I'm kind of in a season like that where like the longer you stay out of a relationship, and I can't say it's been like super super long because you
Mhm.
guys know the situation that happened last year, but the longer you just don't really seek it and you just focus on yourself, the more like you get comfortable not
Yeah.
being in one, and
Yeah.
then you don't really feel like you need it. Like I used
Mhm.
to feel like I needed it, like I want to have a family and kids and all that. But if that happens, great. If it doesn't happen, also great. There's just other things that I know that I need to put my time, energy, and effort
Mhm.
towards,
Right.
so that way whenever that does happen, everything's gonna be set up. So
Right. I agree. You know, I think one of the largest things before I get into kind of the list that I want to get into is patience.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I've been on record of allegedly maybe being a little bit too patient when it comes to how I'm moving in my
I think
relationships.
your patience is rubbing off on me when it comes to patience in relationships, because I'm just like, keep me away from them.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, we've seen instances where people maybe move a little bit too fast, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And obviously you don't wish that upon anybody, but obviously on the outside looking in, when things happen a little bit too fast, you can you can typically see them ending about as fast as they started.
And unfortunately, yeah, that does happen. And why do you think that happens?
I think that some people are just too anxious to be there. A lot of people are too
Mhm.
excited about the aesthetic of relationships and marriage
Marriage,
and what it
family.
looks like and all of that fun stuff,
Mhm.
but aren't really ready for the work part of it. And also, maybe some people just don't do the due diligence toward their
Mhm.
partner. We know two people that seemingly have gotten divorced in the last year that were
Yeah.
probably married for less than a year, maybe a few months at that.
Yeah.
And so when when you see something like that happen, obviously, we have a myriad of questions. But
you can kind of assume. You can
right,
kind of
you can
assume. Once you see something happen so fast,
yeah,
you can kind of assume.
you can kind of assume, right? And so when you don't get to know that person before jumping into these things, like I feel like there should at least be like a 2-year minimum
Right.
between dating and getting married.
It's funny. It's funny that you talk about patience because I was talking to somebody else about their relationship, and for whatever reason, whenever girls get out of relationships, I'm the therapist. They're free therapists. So
Brandon's the shoulder to cry on that becomes that.
yeah, it doesn't become anything else. Let it be known, it doesn't become anything else. But she was talking to me and she's like, well, he's doing this at the beginning, this at the beginning, this at the beginning. And he's like, if I get into a relationship, I'm not going to do these things. And then he got into a relationship and then he kept doing those things and he did other things he said he wouldn't do in the relationship. I'm just like,
interesting.
Why are we expecting people to change? We had this conversation on the podcast before. And then I'm having this conversation with her and I'm just like, if he's doing this in the beginning of the relationship, and some of it was like crazy, like, I mean, going out was one of them, but that's not too crazy. Well, he wasn't doing that before, but he got into a relationship and started doing that and said he wasn't going to do that. And then, it's just like crazier things that, I'm probably not going to say on here that have to do with things that you intake into your body that you probably shouldn't do.
Crackheads.
Yeah, stuff like that. And it's like, how do you expect just because there's a title, guys like to chase, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we enjoy that chase. So we will tell you things that you want to hear in order for us to get what we want to get. And once we get what we want to get, it's not fun anymore.
And that's something that recently, on my TikTok where I am frequently being yelled at by women. They
fun, though. Everyone has an opinion.
It
doesn't
is.
mean it's right.
They were talking about how men will tell you, all these great things in the beginning and not follow through because they do, like you said, like the chase. 100%. And my thing was that I'm like, and you were correct. And although that might very well be true, but like you said, the expectation for your habits to suddenly change now that we've put a commitment on it seems outrageous to me. So yes, they have a responsibility to follow through with their word, and they didn't do that, and that's wrong on their part. Right. But you're crazy for believing them that they were doing something consistently before the marriage, and suddenly you assumed it was going to stop after that.
And I was telling her too, it's like we could say as guys, like we could say all these things. It doesn't mean like our actions align with our words. So look at their actions, not their words. I'll say some very outlandish sexual things all the time. That's just me. That's what I do. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. I'm working on it.
We're praying for him.
It doesn't mean I'm going to actually do those things.
It doesn't.
And if you're in my life, you know what I'm talking about. Like I'll say some funny things, and I said something funny, and like, why are you saying that? If you're not having sex, I'm like, because I'll say something and not do it. Like my actions, no, I'm not going to actually do that, but I'm going to make a joke about it.
Yeah.
So listen to the guy's actions, not what he quote unquote is going to promise you if this relationship happens and things like that, which brings us to the point of you were saying how patience is so important because don't let them tell you who they are. Let them show you who they are and believe what they show you, not what they tell you. So that's why it's so important to go slow on these things so you can actually be taking notes and start to break things down logically, which leads to the next step, delay the sex. Because once you have the sex, now you create that more emotional bond. Now, when these things start to happen, when you are taking it slow, your cloudment, your judgment. That's a new word, guys. 2026, new word, cloudment by yours truly. Put it in the dictionary. Your cloudment, that means your judgment is clouded. Your cloudment, your judgment gets clouded. And then you don't know you don't know if the red flags looking like Six Flags or whatever it may be at that point in time. So that's why it's super important to, one, understand that someone's not going to change just because they say they're going to change. They only change when they want to change. So listen to the behavior. And that also reminded me when I was having a conversation with her, I had a friend, not going to say no names, but it was just, platonic relationship, right?
Right.
We would call, FaceTime, catch up. I would talk about girl situations, she talk about guy situations,
Mhm.
and I would FaceTime her, and then she wouldn't answer, and it
Oh,
was like 2 weeks went by, right? And I'm like, you good? Like
yeah.
everything good? You said, oh, maybe I'm just losing interest. And I was like, you could take that personally, right? You could take
Mhm.
that as like rejection or whatever. I'm just like losing interest. I'm like, in my head, I'm just like, this is really just a mostly like platonic relationship. Like it's mostly like a friendship. But
Mostly
her
like a friendship. It's interesting terminology
it's
to use.
mostly a friendship. So
Mostly.
mostly
Okay. All
mostly
right.
a friendship with someone that I had slept with a long time ago.
Ah, okay. All right.
If that makes sense.
There
But
it
there was
is.
no more of that within over a year.
Right,
You know
right,
what I'm saying?
right.
Because I haven't been having sex. So it was none of that recently. So it was more of like a therapist friendship. You complain to me about your boy problems. I tell you
Mhm.
about my girl problems. We talk through them, work through them, yada, yada, yada.
Mhm.
But when that happened, I'm like, this doesn't make sense. But I'm like, you know what? I've already seen these actions with her in other relationships. So I'm like, I can't take anything personally because these are the actions that have already been
Right.
shown.
You know who she is already.
So it's like, why would you expect someone else to change when they showed you that they can do that to other people before? So it's really important because situations like that are going to happen to people, and you may feel like you did everything correct or you did everything right, but it's like the end of the day, you can't really control what somebody does. If somebody doesn't want to be your friend anymore, somebody doesn't want to be in a relationship with you,
Mhm.
look at the patterns of how their other relationships ended or how their other friendships ended,
Mhm.
so on and so forth. So when that situation happened,
Right.
I'm like, you want to say something, you like, huh? What? But it's like, you can't control anybody. Like that's their choice. You can't be surprised if people act the same way that they've acted before in
Right.
other situations.
Yes. And then that's always been my thing, cuz
Mhm.
reading like these horror stories about men that they tell me online. I my
Yeah,
my my
right.
question is always, how long has this been going on, right?
Mhm.
There were some women who were talking about how he'll come home and he basically will eat, he won't clean his dishes, and then
Mhm.
just goes and puts headphones in for the rest of the night.
Yep.
I'm like, that's interesting. How long has that been, going on or allowed to go on?
Right.
Or the the probably the most ridiculous one. I don't know if I said this on here before, but a woman who said that I had a man who suddenly switched up after we started living together, and he
Mhm.
wouldn't wear clean clothes unless I did the laundry. And I
Mhm.
said, there is no way that just started.
Yeah. Ain't no way.
There is no way you go from always wearing clean clothes to suddenly refusing to wear them unless somebody else does your laundry.
Mhm.
That's not people are habitual, especially with things like hygiene. Your hygiene
Oh
routine
yeah.
is probably the same thing you've been doing for the last 5 to 10
Mhm.
years at the very minimum.
And if it's a bad one, you better change
And it's a bad one,
it.
you better
make
change it.
make that be a resolution, please.
Right. So what you decide to ignore
Mhm.
now will be your problem later. But you can only
Mhm.
blame them partially for what they're doing. But the
Mhm.
other part of it is that you sat there and watched it and decided to ignore it until it became unbearable because you
Yep.
like them a little bit too
Mhm.
much, I guess. So, figure that out.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's like I feel like the problem with relationships today, and obviously you guys have heard all my relationship stories. If you want to hear them in detail, go listen to episode 4. And I guess half of the stuff from last year is like we and this doesn't apply to Cleon because he actually takes things really slow. But people who are like lover boys or lover girls and just love and want to be loved and want to be
Mhm,
in a relationship and want
mhm,
to
mhm.
find the one, right? Have the fairy tale
Yeah.
ending.
Yeah.
We will blind ourselves because we want the outcome
Mhm.
with this person
Yeah.
versus seeing all the bad things that they're doing and understanding that it is a process. Sometimes it does take a long time to find the one for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 32 years old and
Yeah.
I don't know where she's at right now.
Mhm,
Who
mhm,
knows? I have no
mhm,
idea. God knows, but I have no
mhm.
idea. So it's like we find this person that we think is going to be it. And then all those actions in the beginning, we just kind of ignore it until, like you said, yeah, they become a little bit unbearable. Then it's like, oh my God, why do you keep doing
Right,
this?
now
But it's like,
everything they do aggravates you.
but it's like if you just slowed it down, didn't have the sex, took the relationship slow, you would have saw these behaviors. And then once you see the behaviors, you can't really expect them to change because you've been in a relationship for a year. Or just like when we talked about that, I think it was either on TikTok or the Reddit story about the husband who,
Oh yeah.
which obviously I think he's in the wrong because he should have changed when he had a kid. But
Mhm,
he, you
right.
know, why they have a family, he has a kid, and he's, still playing video games more at
Yeah,
night
yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff. But obviously that's what he enjoyed doing. So he's not going to fully get rid of it, but to each their own. But you also can't expect somebody to change if those are the behaviors that they're showing you in the beginning.
Especially if they go unaddressed.
Mhm.
You
Oh
know,
yeah, yeah,
and, that-
100%.
and you're like you can change gradually, but
Mhm.
that's the time to figure it out. If you're gonna have a problem with that,
Mhm.
the time to have that problem is early
Mhm.
because it's going to carry over. So
Yeah.
you can kind of gradually fit because I understand things are going to gradually take
Mhm.
time. Like I don't, talking
Mhm.
like my girl, right?
Mhm.
I'm gonna talk about it a little bit. She has a time issue. She's late to places like you,
Oh,
actually. You know that.
terrible.
So when we first started, when we first got involved, basically, she would tell me she was going to be certain places at certain
Yeah, yeah,
times and she
yeah,
wasn't there. And I'm
yeah.
like, hey, I don't do that. Man, that's
I,
not.
that's actually a pet peeve for me. So that's why I just show up late to everything.
I'm sorry. Hold on.
Because my time ain't about to get wasted, but somebody else's might.
Brandon, you either die the hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain, man. That's
Amen.
but that was her thing. She would consistently just be late to play. And as we've progressed, because obviously it's a preference. I mean, it's not really a preference. That's like a non-negotiable for me. But it was something that I knew that we could fix as long as we nip it in the bud early.
Yeah,
She's much, much better with that now as opposed to when we first started because she understood that I take my time seriously.
right.
And obviously, I'm putting things on hold and planning my days around when you're
Mhm.
going to be here and when you're going to be there. If I want to make a dinner reservation, but I can't trust you to be ready on time, I'm not
Yeah.
going to make it.
It's
We just
like,
won't go
yeah,
anywhere.
it's like I'm allowed to waste my time, but you're not allowed to waste my time.
I can do it, but you can't.
I can waste my own time, but you cannot. That's another thing. This is like just relationships in general. When you're doing a favor for somebody
Oh yeah.
and then they're late or like they taking forever, bro, that kills me. Like, hey, can you come? Like, can you give me a ride to this or this, or can you drop me off at home, or can you come do this at this time? And then you get there at that time, it's
And they
like,
not there.
yeah, I was like
Dog.
that. Yeah, I'm out of here. I'm leaving.
I
That happens a couple times. Now I just say no to everything.
probably the craziest thing. I was invited to like a birthday party. Birthday
Mhm.
party was starting at it was like 4 p.m. I got there at 4 p.m. Nobody was there. The party didn't start until like 5:30. I said, y'all got to get it. Y'all got to get a grip.
Mhm.
But anyway, but yeah, so that was one thing that we had to work on, but it was something that I noticed early
Mhm.
and we had conversations about early. And I understand it's not going to change overnight because it's
Yeah.
a habit. But so as we kind of progressed, that habit has become a lot better.
Mhm.
So it kind of we can apply that to pretty much anything there. But when you see something, you have to say something early and not expecting them to change it on their own, knowing that it bothers you. People have this
Mhm.
idea that somebody else knows something is bothering them, even though they're not saying anything about it.
Yeah, absolutely not.
And so they just allow it to continue until they say something. And then I'm like, hey, that the time was the time to figure that out was then, because now you're starting now
Mhm.
with it. And now they have to start changing that habit now, which means you still have at least 6 months minimum before that habit actually changes, right?
Mhm.
And so you have to be patient during that point because you
Yeah.
decide not to say anything until now.
Yeah. I think for people that are looking to get into a relationship this year as a resolution or whatever it may be, if you're actively seeking and dating, just look at the behaviors in the beginning. If you don't like people that go out and party and this person goes out and party, whether it be one time a week or one time every other week, and you get with him, you can't expect, sometimes they do stop, right?
Mhm.
But you cannot expect him to do that. If he does drugs, you cannot expect him to
Just not do drugs.
just to stop because he's in a relationship with you. Like
Yeah.
it's not how those kind of things just work.
Yeah.
If he flirts with a lot of women. Like you can't expect him to stop doing that. Like that's just what it is. Or like how girls would say, if the guy follows a lot of girls or likes a lot of girls' pictures, like I can't be one. All right, cool. That's your
Cool.
that is your boundary.
Yeah.
Stick to it.
Stick to it.
Don't break your own boundary just because you're like, oh my God, he's different. You literally just said that you will not be with him if he does that. And he's doing that. He's not different. Just understand that people are going to show you who they are. Just listen. Just or don't listen, but just watch.
Yeah, just watch. Just watch. So with that being said, relationship resolutions, right? So a few things that I kind of want to go down to talk about things that may help and improve your relationship. And I want to kind of talk a little bit about these things. So there's a section here regarding communication and connection. So there's a few groups of these things that kind of help out that it kind of talks about. So the first thing is listening actively, giving your partner your full attention without interrupting, and try to understand their perspective.
Okay, who fails mostly to understand perspectives? Men or women?
Well, that's a loaded question because
super loaded.
Because it also you've got to understand how the message is being conveyed. I can actively listen, but if you're not saying what you mean, then I'm actively listening to the incorrect thing and trying to operate based off what I think that you said.
Right. I only ask because I've been in those kind of relationships, right? And I'm sure other people are in those relationships where they get into arguments or disagreements, and the girl says one thing and then the guy responds and she's like, you're not listening to me, but you're like, I literally am listening to you. This is my response to it.
Yeah.
So it's like who's usually like who's at fault at that situation? Or then what are we supposed to do in that situation?
What needs to happen is that you always, it's like we talk about when you're speaking, you have to understand who your target audience is.
Yeah.
If I want you to understand me, I know that in order to talk to Brandon, in order for Brandon to hear me, there's a certain way I need to convey what I'm trying to get across, which is different than the way I need to go and talk to my girl when I'm talking about things, because she understands a certain way and understand things. So it's one of those things to where you have to, in order to expect someone to listen actively, you have to be able to convey the message properly, because otherwise they're listening actively to something that might not be that clear. And then obviously we can hope to read between the lines, but that takes time. That's going to take some time to get to know your partner. Okay, so when she says this is actually what she means by that. Because at the beginning, I'm taking you for exactly what you're saying. And then now I'm still wrong, which is not always that.
Not always like that. I think for people that are in relationships, when they get into these disagreements or these arguments, active listening is good. But if you are the male, try to take an extra 5 seconds, 8 seconds before you respond and actually empathize and see what she's saying. And don't just give her the response that is going to fix the problem. Because guys, we're really good at giving solutions to everything, right? Instead of empathizing with our significant other. So make sure you empathize before you actually give a solution. And you don't even have to give a solution in the same day. Just empathize.
I think
feel what they feel.
I think one of the larger things is that we have to get okay with asking questions.
Yeah.
And we have to be okay with being asked questions, like follow-up questions. Like, I understand you just said this, but I have a few questions about what exactly you mean by what you're saying.
Dissect
So,
the question.
correct, by dissecting that, because I use TikTok as an example because it's always an interesting place. I've been talking about cheating on our TikTok a lot, and so I asked questions about, somebody was talking about if somebody's if you're unhappy with your partner, then you should just leave and not cheat. And the question that I asked was, what if they're not cheating because they're unhappy? And then there were probably 4 or 5 comments saying, wow, I can't believe you're justifying it. Of course you would do something like this. And I was just like, I'm simply asking a follow-up question to something that somebody said. This is not me justifying the action. That's not me condoning it. I'm just asking you, should they leave instead of cheat? Yes. But you're saying that if they're unhappy, they should just leave. Where if they're not cheating because they're unhappy? Then what?
They're cheating because they're lustful, or they're cheating because they went out to a Christmas party with their coworkers and accidentally, slept with the girl that they went to, their coworker they went to lunch with, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? These are real life things that actually happen day in and day out,
every day.
So there are different outcomes or
Mhm.
different things to do for different situations. So
Exactly. So being able to be asked questions about what you mean, because sometimes, and
mhm.
obviously we're all guilty of it. Sometimes we're not as clear as we think that we are. Just because you know what you mean doesn't mean a person sitting across from you knows what you mean. And so if you want them to be able to listen actively and be able to come up with something for you guys to find common ground, you have to be able to convey that
Mhm.
in a proper manner. But also, like we talk about,
Mhm.
listening. Like we said, don't listen to respond all of the time. We have a lot of issues where people want to just get their stuff off because they feel a certain way about something that you said. Sometimes you got to shut up, take it, and then talk back.
Yeah, yeah. And
And then
give up. Maybe you can come back to it the next day because
yeah,
people have emotions. Like
yeah,
we get into an argument or altercation, like we're going to feel some type of way. You start your skin starts to get a little hot, your body gets a little warm,
yeah, yeah,
and you
yeah.
probably want to say something that you shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
don't engage into what your flesh is telling you to do.
yeah,
Just let it ride.
yeah.
These situations happen to me, they happen to everybody. You want to say some certain things and you're
Hmm.
like, it's in the heat of the moment. Hold your tongue and then just save it for the next day when the emotions have calmed down.
Yeah,
You save yourself getting into the doghouse, fellas. Like you save yourself a lot of time and heartache in that relationship and then trying to repair it. Same goes with your work relationships. You know what I'm saying? When you got people that say some crazy stuff to you and you want to say something back, just try and bite your tongue and wait till the emotions wait till the emotions have died down or calmed down, and then come up to them that those people respectfully, and then have the conversation.
yeah.
Easier said than done,
Yeah, I absolutely easier saying this because
but more
some
more practice, you get better.
correct, and especially kind of when you're in your intimate relationships, you have to understand that this conversation, whatever happens here, you still have to live with this person after that.
Hmm.
So, which is why I try my best not to act out or speak out of emotion.
Yeah.
Regard because the first thing that typically comes to my mind in response is usually something sarcastic.
Oh yeah.
Probably 10 out of 10 times, but I know that that doesn't help the situation that we're currently in.
Helps me feel better though.
Mainly because I'm way too unserious sometimes. I be
Yeah,
wanting to joke all the time.
I do.
It's one of those things where I understand, okay, so this is not the time for this. I'll keep that in the back of my head.
Yep.
Now we'll talk about this seriously now, and then maybe once we've gotten through this, I get to tell you what I was thinking,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
later, and
yeah,
then we
yeah.
can laugh about it together. But it's just not time for that
Mhm.
at that current moment.
I was thinking this, but I saved it because I knew it would make you mad.
Yeah, in that moment, it would
Yeah,
have made you mad.
yeah. I was really good at that in
Yeah,
relationships.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Now,
The passive aggressive thing, not the saving it for
oh, okay, yeah,
later.
okay, yeah. Another thing to work on. Obviously, passive aggression.
That was when I was younger though.
Yeah, back in the day.
Back in the days, crazy.
Another thing falling under this communication and connection portion of it is talking about expressing appreciation. Regularly share what you love and are grateful for about your partner.
Hmm.
Um, I find this interesting. This is something that I admittedly am not good at all.
Yeah, and
Um,
you can't expect yourself to be great at everything in a relationship.
mhm,
Like
mhm,
there's room for growth in all areas of our life. So that was one that I was actually pretty bad at too,
mhm.
because I was like, I feel like like if you say something corny, like it's not genuine.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
and everybody interprets conversation differently. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So you could say something or do something, and you're like, no, this is like me showing you how much I love you, but it's just they want words of affirmation, but you're giving them gifts.
Correct.
So understanding basically this, in my viewpoint, is like understanding your partner's love language and how they want to receive love. Because some
Mhm,
are words of affirmation,
mhm.
and if it is words of affirmation, saying that they're beautiful or just reminding them how much you appreciate them, you have to show up that way because that's how they want to receive it.
Correct. Correct. And it's funny, right? Because again, just on my recent TikTok, we're talking about somebody was talking about expressing appreciation. She was talking about some relationships people are better at this, but I'm like, well, she was talking about heterosexual relationships versus homosexual relationships. She was like, I've dated men and women are much better at doing things like expressing appreciation than men are.
Because they're women.
And I'm like, well, I think that you guys probably speak the same language when it comes to
Yeah.
appreciation. So the way that you appreciate things is the way that you're going to try and appreciate somebody else. So that's why it's important to learn what your partner sees as like,
Mhm.
hey, how do you feel appreciated? So that way I can appreciate you in the manner, not just what I do, what I think is
Right.
appreciating you, but how you genuinely feel appreciated.
But biblically as well, women are also nurturers, right?
Hmm.
And men are supposed to be providers.
Hmm.
So women with another woman, it's not surprising that they're both nurturers and they can both speak that same language
Hmm.
because that's literally what you're designed to do.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where basically what was I was talking about how like birthdays, right? Something that I see a lot of.
Hmm.
Men often don't really care that much about doing something for their birthday. And then so
Yeah,
when
once you get to a certain age,
yeah, yeah. Once you get so when their lady asks him, "What do you want to do?" He's like, he'll tell you, "Hey, I don't want to do nothing. I just want to chill. I want to chill with you.
yeah,
Maybe we go get something to eat, but I just want to do nothing. I just want to have. I would just want." And she takes it as, "Let me throw him a big party, invite all of his friends there to the house, and because I want to make him feel appreciated because he deserves it." But he told you exactly what he wanted. And then
yeah.
now he doesn't feel it. He appreciates the effort, but hey, I told you how I
What
felt
you?
like we wanted
Yeah,
to celebrate this. So now I don't feel like you're hearing me. Now I don't
right.
feel appreciate. I appreciate the effort, but that's not what I told you that I wanted. So understanding how your partner feels appreciation will help you show them
Or
appreciation and how you express that.
maybe sometimes like women, guys say one thing and don't mean it. So maybe she thought that.
Yeah, which in that and that's the
Eh,
other problem, right? Because when you talk when you listen to people, how you talk to
mhm.
people, right? That's what you'll hear. Oh,
Right.
he says this because if I said something like this, I would clearly mean this. Like I saw something online which was ridiculous. This girl was talking about how her man went to go get something to eat. He asked her
Mhm.
like 10 times, "Do you want something
Oh
from
yeah.
here?" And she said no. And he got back
That's a
and
lot.
didn't bring her anything, and then she was upset about it.
You
And I'm
gotta just
like,
bring what they like.
I'm
You
like,
gotta
hey,
know these things.
no, forget
It's
that.
just
If I
like,
ask you what you want and you tell me nothing,
are
okay.
you this way? If your girl asks you what you want for your birthday, like a gift, what are you gonna tell her?
I literally never know.
You just say nothing.
You know, I'm
I
like,
don't need a gift.
I literally say, I'm like, whatever you feel, because my girl's a good gift giver. She's very
So
thoughtful
you
with it.
already know.
I'm like,
Oh,
I trust you. Whatever
okay.
you want to do, I'm gonna be fine with
So
that.
I'll be the type of person to say like, if someone's like, "Yo, what do you want?" I'll be like, "I don't want a gift. Like, I'll be good."
Yeah.
But if it's like my significant other, I'll still say the same thing, but I'll still expect
Well,
something,
why would you do
something
that?
thoughtful,
Why would you do that?
because I don't want to add that pressure.
You don't want to
I'll,
add that.
I'll,
Okay.
so let me say it
Okay.
this way: I will be okay without getting one,
Hmm.
but it's like you just don't want to put that pressure on them. That like, hey, yeah, you got to get me one, but the thought of anything would be nice.
So then,
Is my
so then why not think of something that's not that high stakes
like, yeah,
that you
give
would
me something
appreciate? Not give
because
me something
because
like,
then
hey,
surprises are nice too.
I've been looking for, and yeah, and that's another thing. I'm not really into guessing when it comes to
Yeah,
gifts. That's not my thing.
ladies, just give me some Pokemon cards sealed.
There you go. Easy money. She comes and brings you some packs of some rare Pokemon cards, right? And now you get to sell them. That would be something that you would appreciate at this
or
current point. You know,
hold until later.
something, right? So it's one of those things which
Mm,
communicating exactly how you feel appreciated will allow your partner to be able to express appreciation a little bit better. Then obviously you still have to also be willing to express that appreciation. Like I
mhm,
said, that it's like you talked about, saying certain things just feels corny. When I've said as many great things as I have in my life, saying the little
mhm.
corny things just doesn't feel right. I'm like, I'm better than that.
It's weird.
But
It's weird, but
yeah,
I
but
mean, but
sometimes
like
it's what they want.
exactly. So in a sense, it's like even if you feel weird saying it,
Yeah,
like you still got to do it because they appreciate it.
correct.
So just because you feel weird doing it doesn't mean that they don't feel joy from receiving it.
Exactly. Yeah, I know. And so that's one of the things that I struggle with, because like
Hmm.
you said, it feels disingenuous at times,
I
because
agree.
it's like this
Hmm.
but yeah, once again, that's something that, as far as relationship resolutions, that's something
Hmm.
that I know, that's something I can get better at. And I think that's something a lot of people can get better at, expressing their appreciation for their partner. But first thing, like I said, is understanding how they feel appreciated. So that
Hmm.
way, because I'm into efficiency. You know what I'm saying? I don't
Yeah.
want to do a bunch of guessing about how you feel. Oh, this is what you like. Cool.
Hmm.
Let's get it done. So that way you feel good, because I want to make sure that you
Hmm.
feel good on that.
And then what do you think about constant reminders? Like, should your partner have to constantly remind you of how they feel appreciated? Or
Well,
should you have to remind them how you feel appreciated?
unless the way that you feel appreciated is changing, I don't see why that conversation has
Mhm.
to happen more than twice.
So then the other person should better take notes, right?
Ideally, you listen to that.
Listen, active, listen, and
Yeah,
then practice
yeah, you act
what your
listening
partner,
actively.
yeah, and what your partner is telling you. Make
Yeah,
sure you guys are listening
yeah.
and practicing, so that way they're not having to repeat themselves month after month after month. And if you are find yourself in that relationship, then you probably should end that relationship.
Yeah, yeah, that's
And
fair.
your resolution should be like my resolution:
To stay out.
stay
Yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah. The next one it talks to is checking in daily. Have short conversations to process your day and stay connected. I
Mhm.
hate talking about my day. That's probably not something I'm gonna end up.
Yeah, but I
Though,
mean,
but
I think you should check in.
at least weekly, maybe. But
Well,
oh,
like
well,
your energy level, like with the relationship, like how you feeling. Like, do you need to be distant today?
mhm,
Do you need more words of affirmation today? Like whatever it may be, so that way you still keep that bond strong. So I don't think the mundane. How was your day at work?
yeah. Well, because that's what this is
Right, right,
seems like
right.
it's talking about. That.
Right. No, I agree with the context of that. It's like that's what it seems like. How was your day at work? Oh, it was good. We did this. How was your day? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Let's eat dinner. I feel like checking in emotionally, like where are your energy levels at? What do you need from me in this relationship? Or
Mhm,
if her energy levels are down, how can you help
right.
fill the void? If her energy's at a 40, yours should be at over a 60, so you can help fill the void or
Mhm,
whatever it may be in those
mhm,
situations. So I feel like a daily, maybe you call it an energy check-in, not
mhm,
necessarily just like a how was your work day, but
mhm.
checking in like where you feel in the relationship. Cause sometimes, like I know for me, like sometimes I would like to be with my significant other
Yeah,
for long periods of time.
yeah.
Sometimes I just need to be alone and I don't need it. I don't want to text you. I don't want to talk to you on the phone. I just need to have my me time.
Mhm,
So do check-ins like that.
mhm.
So that way you're not being overwhelming or underwhelming or whatever it may be, just so you're having constant communication. I think or that's how, at least how I interpret that
Mhm,
part.
mhm. Yeah, I think that it's one of those things that where it's talking about being able to stay connected, just just being just up to date on what's going
Mhm.
on. Who's the girl she hates at work this week.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All that fun stuff.
Yeah,
That way you
those
guys are
are
on the
always
same
fun.
page.
Or
Yeah,
who's her new best friend?
who's yeah, all right. Yeah, who's her new best friend?
Not guy
Yeah,
friend, but
yeah,
girlfriend.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
two more talks about being vulnerable, sharing your fears and
Mhm.
worries to build deeper
Mhm.
intimacy. I think that's something that probably a lot of men have a lot of trouble with.
I think so too, but this also reminds me that this ties in with the patience thing, right?
Yeah.
Um, just because somebody's vulnerable with you early on, and people like that, right? People like I know I appreciate a
Hmm.
woman who could be vulnerable with me, and I know I can be vulnerable with a woman.
Hmm.
But just because that happens early on in the relationship, it doesn't mean like, oh my God, this is person's meant to be because he's opening up to me and he's never opened up, or he says he's never opened up to
Yeah,
anybody
yeah,
else
yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever it may be. So also, yes, be vulnerable
Hmm.
when the timing is correct. But still, if it is early on in the relationship, you feel like, oh, hey, we're connected or whatever it may be, and you just feel like spilling everything, and they feel like spilling everything about whatever situation that they need to be vulnerable about, and you guys be each other's therapists at the beginning of it. Still don't take that as like, oh my God, this person's different. No, 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 no. You still got to.
It's so easy to overshare at the beginning.
It is.
It's so easy
So
to do
that's why
that.
you still got to slow it down, but it's appreciated. Because
Yeah.
I know when that situation, I was in that situation, and this is why I'm speaking from experience. When I was in a situation like that, it does feel good for someone to relate to you and listen to your story, empathize with you, and then
Hmm.
you do the same to them. And it's like, oh wow, we just shared this great vulnerable moment.
Hmm.
I really like this person. And then the red flags right here, you're like, but we had this moment.
Hmm.
So it's like when that happens, appreciate it, of course, but don't let it be the end all be all. Still got to take things slow and see how this person is moving. These are
Yeah.
for the people in the beginning of a relationship stage.
Absolutely. And one of the things regarding vulnerability, like you said, it ties into patience. That's
Mhm.
one of the things that we have to understand is that sometimes it is going to take people a little bit of time
Yeah, yeah.
to be vulnerable
Mhm,
with you. And I don't want you to take that personally.
mhm,
I don't know how long you've been in your relationship, but I imagine whether it's 2 years or 20,
mhm,
there's still some difficulties when it comes to being absolutely vulnerable.
mhm,
So be patient with your partner, because I know sometimes we just, oh, I just want them to, I just love them and I just want them to be able to share anything with
mhm,
me, however they feel. But you got to understand, man, we all got scars. We all been through things in life.
mhm.
We've all probably at some point have had our vulnerability used against us, but also you don't want to be too vulnerable way too early. You just kind of gradually get to the point. You share little things here and there. You gradually get to a point where you guys feel safe with each other.
Mhm,
And I think that'll bring you closer. But I also think too much at the same time
mhm.
might also be a bad thing as well. But I
Yeah,
think
I think it's
patience with that person
yeah,
is
I think it's
important.
situational.
Yeah,
I think it's definitely situational as well.
situational power.
Well, I mean, you don't want to like on the first date just spill everything about your
That's my
love
favorite
life
time.
or your past history.
you
But
know,
if they start to open up, and then you feel like you should open up, that's where I mean it's like situational. So it just really depends on the situation. Cleon got to make a phone call or something over
No, I
there.
forgot to plug my laptop in. I was so excited to get started.
Yeah, because if you guys didn't know, we haven't had well, we did post an episode last week, but
Yeah, we posted. We didn't do
we
one.
haven't we didn't do one in like 2 weeks because of the holidays.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
but we did post one last week, and then this one will post on in 2 weeks from well next weekend.
Yeah.
Because then we'll move and be in a different spot.
Different spot. But yeah, so yeah, being vulnerable. Yeah. Very,
Mhm,
very important to do that. Like you said, it's that was my favorite thing to do actually. When I would meet girls
mhm.
back in my single days, I would do experiment. I would
See
just tell
what?
them everything about all the awful things that have happened. And like just to see what happens.
Is
Some
that
girls you didn't hear from again, some of them came back.
is
It was
that
very interesting.
manipulation?
If I because I'm testing it out.
Yeah, he was testing it out, guys. He didn't know if it worked or not yet.
God forbid I go in there being 100% honest and wanting to
Yeah,
see what the result of
and
that
I
is.
I think you should be 100% you. Like just be authentic, be genuine.
Yeah, but you don't
It
gotta tell everybody everything now
yeah,
at the beginning.
yeah. Like don't use them as your therapist. Like definitely like on a first couple of dates, if you're just getting to know this person, you don't got to get like don't use them as your therapist.
Yeah, yeah,
You can
yeah.
relate to them. Oh, they told you a story, but okay, I had something similar happen to
Yeah,
me.
there you go.
That's the kind of vulnerability until you actually really connect and get into a relationship. But take things slow. Don't get married that fast. Don't like this is you want one and done, guys, one and done.
Ideally. And last thing, a part of this communication and connection portion, use repair attempts.
Mhm.
Diffuse arguments with humor or caring remarks to de-escalate conflict. That's what we it's funny. That's what we're just talking
Yeah,
about.
always
Um,
de-escalate.
always try and de-escalate, always try and diffuse. I'm not a big fan of arguments. I'm a big fan of
Mhm.
open and cordial communication. I understand that not every conversation is going to be pleasant and we're not going to be happy every
Mhm.
single time that we're talking about things.
You'd be a
uh
fool to think so.
yeah, you'd be a
Yeah.
fool to think so, but that doesn't mean we have to get into big verbose arguments.
Right.
And so that's something like I would do, and I don't know if that's a deflection tactic or me running away, but this Google says that
Probably.
it's a good thing to do, so maybe I've been doing the right thing the whole time. But
Maybe.
every now and then, if I feel it getting too tense, I am going to cut it a little bit with a joke,
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
to
I like
just
to do
bring it
that.
back,
I like to do that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because I don't want to get too deep in it. Mainly because, and I think it's because,
Mhm.
me speaking candidly, I'm not that emotional of a person, believe it or not.
Mhm.
So I know that however angry the person that I'm talking to is going to get, I'm never going to be that angry.
Yeah.
So I don't want to talk to you being on that level when I'm still here, because we're just not in the same headspace.
Yeah.
So, and being that I'm never going to get to where you are, I have to bring you at least
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
closer to
Back.
where I am, because I know I'm not going to get there.
Mhm.
But
Nah, I understand that. I always be cracking jokes too, regardless of how.
in the middle of arguments.
Sometimes it depends on the person,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
this goes for like regular relationships. So I'm always
yeah, because they
cracking
might
jokes.
hit
So
you if you
I
play
mean,
too much.
at the yeah, I mean it wouldn't be the first time, but at the end of the day, like you're going through this journey together. Like you and your girl are learning each other as you learn yourselves. Like you're going through this journey together. So like don't let the argument be the end all be all. Like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, all this stuff first of all, nothing new under the sun. So it's already happened.
Mhm.
And none of it is really that big because at the end of the day, like we are living this life to determine how we live eternal life. So that's the real main goal. So these little bickering, arguments, things of that nature, if you look at the grand scheme of things, they're just tiny, tiny little arguments. That's all.
Right. Yeah. And yeah, man. So using repair attempts. So to kind of recap what this talked about, right, regarding our relationship
Mhm.
resolutions, communication and connection. So listening actively, expressing appreciation, checking in daily, being vulnerable, and using repair attempts are all things that I think we can all
Mhm.
apply to relationships that we may be in this year, regard whether they're partner relationships, maybe whether they're friendships
Yeah.
or any sort of relationship that you're in, coworkers or whatever else.
Mhm.
Maybe applying those things as a part of your relationship resolutions will allow you to be a little bit more successful in that area this year.
And before we go, what is year one relationship resolution?
My one relationship resolution, I would probably say I need to get better at number two here in expressing appreciation.
Mhm.
I'm not affectionate.
That
I'm
one
not
is
a,
hard.
I don't know, man.
I definitely struggled with that one for a really, 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 really long time.
Yeah. So
But I think I'm pretty good at it now.
I think that's something that I do need to get better at because obviously when you have people in your life who are doing their best to,
Mhm.
make you happy and make your life just a
Right.
little bit more comfortable, you should appreciate them.
Well, verbal appreciation. Let me
Yeah,
say that.
verbal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so all that so that's probably mine. I
Hmm.
guess what would your relationship resolution is probably
My relationship resolution should be what a lot of you guys should be doing, and just stay away from it. You know what I'm saying? Especially, we were talking about at the beginning of the episode. If you go from relationship to relationship and you're in a relationship every year, or you're in multiple relationships in a single year,
Mhm,
like just chill out, just stop, just take a break away from all of that and just have a relationship with yourself and have a relationship with God. Focus on those things, not just hop into the next relationship trying to find your next Prince Charming or
mhm,
Sleeping Beauty, whatever it may be, your next fairy tale ending.
mhm.
Stay away.
And
Have that relationship with yourself.
yeah, and maybe these things under this communication connection section can be applied to your relationship with yourself as well. Listening
100%.
actively, expressing
Yeah,
appreciation, checking in, being vulnerable, using repair.
all of it can. Yeah,
All of it
how
can
you
be
talk to
applied.
yourself is powerful.
It's super, super powerful,
Hmm.
super, super important. So maybe if you're not going to be in a relationship with another person this year, maybe apply that to who you are with yourself in an effort to find and better
Hmm.
yourself as well.
100%. That is all we have for you guys on the very first episode of 2026 of the Real Deal Podcast. Thank you. We love you. And we will see you in 2 weeks.